What's up, Disrupt Nation? My name is Tony Delgado, and I'm going to start a new series called Disrupt Daily. So Disrupt Daily, I'm going to be dropping small bite-sized pieces of information, small bite-sized pieces of knowledge, wisdom, things that I've learned from interviewing over 100 entrepreneurs and hosting events with some world-class millionaires, billionaires, thought leaders, business leaders, disruptors, innovators, and thinkers. And yeah, this is going to be me kind of giving back. Think of it almost like a micro podcast. None of the episodes are going to be more than 10 minutes. They're going to be short, bite-sized pieces of information and things that I learn on a daily basis. Me, if you know anything about me, the person that I am today is not the person that I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, not even 5 months ago. I'm a person that really believes in evolution. I believe in the potential of the human being. I believe in the possibility that you can become and create whoever you want to become in the life that you want to create. And I'm a huge believer in the fact that you can be the author of your own life, and you're not limited by your past. You're not limited by the people you went to high school with. You're not limited by who your parents were. You're not limited by, the grades that you got when you were in first grade. And we actually live in a culture where we tend to focus on the past and look to the past as if it is a determinant of the future. One of the sayings in American culture is to learn from the past, that the past is destined to repeat itself. And while that can be true, and there are things that you can learn from the past to dictate your future, there's a negative connotation with that you are somehow bound to repeat your own mistakes, or you're somehow bound to repeat the mistakes of your parents. And it's really disempowering if you think about it, because if your father was a drug dealer, then you're bound to be a drug dealer. If your father cheated on his wife, then you're bound to cheat on your wife. If your mother was hooked on drugs, then you're bound to be hooked on drugs. If your classmates in high school are getting locked up or getting in trouble or broke or not doing the right thing, then you're bound to be doing the wrong thing as well, right? And there is some truth to that, right? They say that the average, that you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with, right? So if your best friends are 5 millionaires, then you'll be the 6th. And if your friends are 5 idiots, then you'll be the 6th. But to make matters worse, if your income is statistically within $3,000 per year of the people that you hang around with, of your friends. So think about that for a second. You are directly affected by the people that you hang around with. But, and here's the big but, here's the thing that people do not realize. You are in control of the people you surround yourself with, okay? And people say, oh, but what about my family? What about my uncle? What about my mom, my cousin? You are in control. Okay, if you are over 18, and really even if you're not over 18, but especially if you're over 18, you have control. Your uncle's bringing you down. Your uncle's always talking shit. Your uncle doesn't make any money. Don't get advice, financial advice from your uncle, from your broke fucking uncle. Okay? If your mom didn't have the perfect marriage, don't get marriage advice from her. You can get other advice from her. You can still love her, right? But so many people, they are getting advice from the wrong people. You're getting advice from people that don't have the results that you want. There's nothing more powerful than changing your circumstances. There's nothing more powerful than disrupting the people that you hang around yourself with. And you know what? Let's say, hey, but Anthony, I don't have any millionaire friends. Hey, Anthony, I don't know anyone who's making 6, 7, 8 figures. First of all, number one, yeah, you do. The person on the other end of this video, I've generated over 8 figures in online sales. Tens of millions of dollars I've generated in online sales. But that's not even the point, right? You may know me personally, you may not. We may have never met. But even if you don't, lock yourself in a room. Lock yourself in a room. Listen to podcasts. Listen to YouTube. Control what you're listening to on YouTube. So many people, they're listening to, rap music or pop music. They're listening to Justin Bieber and Drake and all these artists. And, you know, you have to really be careful, because that's another form of mentorship. That's another form of friendship. That's another form of influence in your life. I was a huge critic of hip hop in the early 2000s because, you know, the message from Rick Ross and 50 Cent and all these people was, you know, sell drugs, I'm selling drugs, and that's why I'm driving in this car, right? And the truth of the matter is, they were not buying those cars based on selling drugs. They were buying those cars based on selling music and based on streams and CDs and DVDs and entrepreneurship, and really not drug dealing or anything nefarious or the things that they were talking about. But, you know, I digress. The fact of the matter is, even if you don't have these types of people in your life right now, step one is stop doing the things that can hurt you. Right? I quit smoking cold turkey about 5 years ago. And when I did that, I did it because it was something that I could not do that was going to improve my life, right? Forget the things that you could do, right? You could go to the gym every day. You could, you know, become a triathlete. There's tons of things you could do. You could, you know, start a multi-million-dollar business. But besides all that, how about stop spending your money on dumb shit? How about take the money that you're investing into video games, or the money that you're investing into clothes and things that you don't need. This is a white t-shirt. It's a white t-shirt. This costs $5, right? So why don't you take the money, instead of buying a fucking $500 Gucci shirt so you could flex on Instagram, how about you take that money, put it into a savings account, don't even touch it, don't even look at it, forget about that money, and let it accumulate, right? Stop doing the things that are hurting you financially. Stop doing things that are hurting you spiritually, that are hurting you physically in your health and your wellness, right? So more than just taking action and doing things that are benefiting you, a lot of people just need to stop doing the things that are hurting them, right? Stop smoking cigarettes, stop smoking pot. If you don't have the financial results that you want, you have no business smoking pot, drinking, celebrating. What are you celebrating? Unless you have the financial results that you want, right? I have financial results that a lot of people would envy, and I barely celebrate. I celebrate on occasion, and it's usually after there's been some huge financial win. And there's so many people that are celebrating every weekend, every day sometimes. They're out there celebrating. It's like, what are you celebrating? Right? Are you celebrating just to celebrate? Or are you numbing yourself? Right? So step number one is cut off the people that are negative. Get them out of your life. You know, if your uncle's a loser, don't talk to him. If your mother, your father are negative, limit your access to them. Limit your conversations. You're in control. Lock yourself in a room, put some headphones on, listen to my podcast, listen to other people's podcasts. And you have the power to reprogram your brain. Unsubscribe to the negative stuff on YouTube. Unsubscribe to the memes and the comedy and the things that aren't serving you, right? Open the app. iPhone has an app now. You can monitor your usage. You can monitor where you're spending your time, where you're spending your hours. I did a social media cleanse about a year ago, and I looked in my app usage, and I was spending between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I was spending close to 40 hours. That's a full-time job. Now, mind you, about 25 of that was YouTube, which I kind of leave on the background, similar to a podcast. But still, it's 40 hours of content getting consumed. So what did I do? I started uninstalling apps. I started experimenting. I started limiting my access to social media. Now, I'm a content producer, so I could produce content, but that doesn't mean I have to be consumed by it, right? And so many people, they get stuck in this loop. I know for a fact Jason Capital, very prominent influencer, hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. He doesn't log into his app. He has his app logged in from his assistant. He produces a shit ton of content. He's dropping videos daily, and he's not in there. He's not in there being a rat. He's not in there being a monkey. So again, control your consciousness, control your circle of influence, whether that's people you know in real life or people that you're consuming, your music. You know, I switched to listening to like a lot of EDM and music that doesn't have lyrics, because I don't want someone else's ideas, whether they're ideas about love, whether they're ideas about finance or business. If they're not the right ideas, why do I want those in my brain, right? So control who your circle of influence is and get 5 new friends. Get 5 new friends, whether they're virtual friends that you have on a podcast, or whether they're people in real life, or whether they're a little bit of both. Get 5 new friends this year and see how it will change your life. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Oh, what do you want to hear about? Real quick before I log off. What do you want to hear about? What topics are you interested in? And also, where are you in the world? So I'm making these videos from Puerto Rico. I moved to Puerto Rico about a year ago. And I want to know, what do you want to hear about? And where are you in the country, in the world? So leave, where are you in the country? And what's a topic? What's something that you want to learn about? All right, guys, I love you. Stay blessed and keep disrupting.